don't matter. Be your own kind of beautiful. Keep your head up, it don't matter. Don't be discouraged, it don't matter. Let the world know that it don't matter. Be your own kind of beautiful. Beauty is so beautiful, plus size is so wonderful. Being thick has benefits, I'm not your ordinary cheek. I've got a lot of love to share with long, short, and nappy hair. Take your time to let you know I'm my own kind of beautiful. So thick hips and sexy girl, don't you be ashamed. No, 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 no. You're so beautiful. If you're plus size, it don't matter. If you got curves, it don't matter. Maybe a little thick, it don't matter. Be your own kind of beautiful. Keep your head up, it don't matter. Don't be discouraged, it don't matter. Let the world know that it don't matter. Be your own kind of beautiful. Beauty is so beautiful, plus size is so wonderful. Being thick has benefits, I'm not your ordinary cheek. I've got a lot of love to share with long, short, and nappy hair. Take your time to let you know I'm my own kind of beautiful. So thick hips and sexy girl, don't you be ashamed. No, 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 no.
Hey everybody, welcome to Feel Good Talk, Mind and Body, Soul and Business. I am Jamila J, and we have Chuck on the 1 and 2s, and we're here today to have a conversation. Our guest, Chuck, she's having technical difficulties. Hopefully she's able to join us, but if not, the show will go on. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, yes, indeed. The show must go on, and we could just have some good conversation between the both of us.
Always,
See what happens.
always.
And of course,
Yes.
our audience out there who's always supporting. So we definitely appreciate y'all. So definitely, if you got anything to say, please comment, and I'll come get it. I'll come get that comment, and we'll talk about it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, is there a hurricane or something on the East Coast? Is that affecting you?
Uh, it didn't affect us at all, like on this area too much. So,
Okay.
but yeah, it was a what was it? I forgot the name of they got so many different names for these different tropical storms, stuff like
Yeah.
that. So, but we didn't have a significant event, not in this area anyway. So,
Okay. Is it raining and how's the weather?
the weather's humid, but it's not too bad. It rained off and on yesterday, but today it's a little cloudy. It's in between. It's cloudy and sun popping out here and there, but for the most part, it's not too bad.
Oh, cool, cool. So today, we were going to have model Coco Love,
Hmm.
and I was prepared to talk about her life.
Hmm.
But since she's not here, we will still talk about those issues of mass incarceration, foster care, and homelessness, because that's what we're supposed to talk about. And I got my notes and I'm ready. So,
Look like you got.
so you got to stay ready. You really do, regardless of anything else.
Mhm.
So, Chuck, I was just reading about. It says here, and it's very disturbing, as many as 1 in 10 African American students has an incarcerated parent. 1 in 10. 1 in 4 has a parent who has been incarcerated. The discriminatory incarceration of African American parents is important because of their children lower performance, especially in schools where the trauma of parental incarceration is concentrated. It is pretty terrible to not have a man in the household, it's different than being just a single parent, um, than having a dad or mom in prison. And the other caveat with Coco was, her dad was in prison and her mom was on drugs. So
Wow.
that led her to be in the foster care system. So that's a pretty, it's broad, but it happens to us, a lot.
Hmm.
It's not uncommon. It's kind of, with all our men being incarcerated, what is happening to the children?
Right.
What is happening to the mother? There's no covering for that family. What happened to the family unit?
Hmm.
So those are the things we can talk about.
Hmm.
If you all got questions or comments, let's talk.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
we'll go right to the comments first because we got about
Okay.
5 of them. That way we can jump right on it. And they're all from Sky Darling. What's going on, Sky? She says, hello, fam. Happy I'm back. I am back. Feeling good because I love Jamila. J Girl Talk. Let's go. Thanks for
We
tuning.
love you too.
Uh-huh. Hi, my King Chuck and our Queen Jamila. We
Hey.
doing great. Thank you, Sky. Hope you
Yeah.
doing well. And she also has said hasn't hit Boston. I guess she said
Okay.
I
The
guess
hurricane.
in
Oh, is it Henry? Is it
yeah,
Hurricane Henry?
I guess it is. And she says, looking fab, Jamila, superstar, hashtag superstar and Chuck styling like always. Well, I'm not really
Thank
styling. I
you.
just got a t-shirt on and a hat, but Jamila's always styling.
That's Scotland. You do
Yeah,
your own kind of beautiful, your
yeah,
own style.
there you go. There you go. So,
Thank you,
um, yeah,
Scott.
thanks, Guy. Yeah,
Mhm.
Jamila, it is a problem, within the community or, our community, especially. It's a sad situation. I mean, it has many factors to it too. It's not just, some people are innocently put in jail, as you all know, because everybody, so, they're not guilty. Some people are innocent, but
Mhm.
they're put in jail. And then you have the people that are guilty and they do what they got to do. But that's a double whammy. She was hit by her mom on drugs and then her dad being incarcerated. So that's
Yeah.
that's a heavy burden right there. You definitely need. A lot of people always say, you don't need both family. You don't need both the mom or the mom and dad, the father and mother in the household, but you do. A lot
You
of times,
really do.
and if you have a village to help, that's even better. Because I had a village coming up when I was younger. The grandparents, you had your mom, your dad, your aunts, your uncles. You had everybody, that was involved. And I think the family structure nowadays, is definitely falling apart, and that's due to drugs and other circumstances out there. And then the system as far as foster care, that's another situation that can be very bad and harmful to these kids because a lot of times the people take these children in just
They
for the
want the money.
yeah, and
They
versus
want the
giving these
money.
kids the love. And it's just unfortunate, but it is out there. And hopefully we as the people could change the narrative as well, because some of the stuff is our fault. We have to really change our circumstance or try to make them change for the better. So again,
Mhm.
I don't know where to start, and a lot of people really don't. But I mean, like, it all starts in the household. But when the household is broken, then what? You know what I mean? What can you do from that point? So again, that's a I don't know, touchy subject, but a lot of people out there, if you got any questions or comments, definitely hit us up. Let us know
Yeah.
how you feel. So
And if you have been in foster care or a parent incarcerated, jump into the topic because I'm following the topic of this model that was supposed to come on.
mhm,
Maybe hopefully she'll jump in, Chuck, but if not, like I said, the show will go on. But
mhm,
I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, how crack came into our community
mhm,
and just tore it up. And it led to mass incarceration. It led into families being torn
right,
apart and the whole family on drugs. What happened to these kids? These kids were in foster care, and they was not, like you said, being loved, protected, provided for. And then once you turn 18, you're out in the world on your own trying to figure it out.
mhm,
That leads to homelessness.
Right.
So like I said, I don't have a personal perspective on this. It's something that I read and just talking to other people, working as an educator.
Mm-hmm.
You see this,
Mm-hmm.
and we do need, even like in a single parent family, you may see the dad once a month or, once every other weekend. But when your father or mother is incarcerated, you know,
Mm-hmm.
do you take your children to jail or prison to see their parent? And sometimes I think too, you get desensitized, going into prison, and it's like a generational curse
Right.
where, the dad was in prison and the sons are in prison, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of things we have to do in our community to help ourselves. And I think conversations like this, hopefully will help, you know.
Yeah, because I've seen it. Where I was raised at. I've seen what the crack did to the communities, especially my
Mhm.
community when I was coming up.
Yeah.
How it went from okay to it just went downhill from there. And a lot
Mhm.
of that crack era was really bad. I mean, it
Yeah.
affected communities really bad. And again, a lot of the kids were crack. A lot you hear that term crack babies. They were born to mothers that were addicted to crack, cocaine,
Mhm.
whatever. And that had a lot to do with, like you said, some of the behaviors of these children. But again, um it's real out there. This stuff is real. I mean, it's hard to really depict or talk about what we need to do to change. But I think now that we know and that we're a little bit more aware, we can change certain things and we can change the narrative, but we just have to be willing to do that. You know what I mean? And help each other out. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And another thing too, um, back in the day, where I grew up in Richmond and the Bay Area, Oakland, Berkeley, Richmond, is all together, like Chester, Philly.
Hmm.
You know, everybody sold weed. A lot of people sold weed, and that was their side hustle. That was their Uber or their Lyft or their,
Okay.
Grubhub. That was their side hustle,
Hmm.
and a lot of those people went to prison, for selling weed.
Hmm.
You know, now weed is legal.
Right.
Now you can buy it in dispensaries or anywhere in America.
Hmm.
So these men and women were you know incarcerated for selling weed, but now it's legal. That I have a problem with that. So that has to be rectified, I believe too.
Hmm.
You know, um, I just I don't condone smoking weed or anything. I don't smoke, um, but I just think it has to be an even playing field when we do it and try to survive.
Hmm.
You're incarcerated, but now that it's legal, something has to be, it has to be justice for those people, especially the ones like three strikes out and they are serving hard time for selling weed.
Yeah, because like I said, when I was coming up, like around the '70s, people smoke weed and stuff like that, but you didn't have that, that the same effects of smoking those chemicals as far as with the crack, cocaine, and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Where weed is natural. I mean, I don't smoke weed either, but it comes from the ground. I mean, now they have more so synthetic stuff out there now. I don't, and it's
Mhm.
different than what it was when we were coming up. But again, you know, we like I said, weed was illegal back in the day, and like I said, and it was only illegal because, and I don't like to get into the the government and all that, but it was because they couldn't get any money on that. But now, of
Right.
course, now they are able to get money on it. So, of
Yeah.
course, now it's legal. So, I don't know. I just it's just a thing of choice. Coming up, you had to make that choice whether or not you were going to be a follower or a leader. Whether or not you were going to smoke weed, whatever that addiction was going to be. Smoke cigarettes because cigarettes is a big addiction as well. That nicotine
Mhm.
is something else. we don't talk about that as much as,
Yeah, that's
that's, and
true.
also sugar, sugar and foods and stuff like that's a big addiction too, but
Yeah.
everything, so again, we it's just a lot. It's a lot to really, I guess, put your mind around or arms around and try to, come with a solution, to figure out what we need to do. But like I said, we have enough information now where we can actually make or change the narrative versus, having excuses now for everything. We just have to be willing as a people to do that. And, I mean, shout out to some of the people that are out there doing that, but then you have, people that, just happy with doing what they do. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and, you can only do what you can do. But we do have some comments out there, though. We got one from, actually, we got a few of them out there. We have one from, let's see, Sky Darling. She says, do you think other cultures just hide these behaviors? I don't think they hide them. I think it's more emphasized, I guess,
Hmm.
on, that's a good question. I mean, I've seen, people, of other cultures addicted to drugs and stuff of that nature. So I don't think it's necessarily hide the behaviors. I think they just, I think it's a ramp up on certain cultures, certain cultures. But as far as it doesn't become an epidemic until it affects other cultures. So again, right now, as far as the, as you can see, as far as the, um, oh my God, I can't even get it out. The, oh my goodness, Lord have mercy. The opioid addiction.
Yeah.
It became a all of a sudden it became
A crisis. And they were getting help. They were being not incarcerated, but they were going to rehab and they were getting treatments from for their addiction where they threw us in jail, in prison,
right.
for being drug addicted. But one thing I want to mention too with Sky's question is the census came out and the majority is no longer the majority. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they are, I think, well, in California, Mexicans are the majority here. I don't know about the East Coast. Latinos are really the majority now.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was reading in terms of white people or Caucasians, they are dying because of drugs.
Mm-hmm.
This opioid, they are ODing at rapid rates, and that causing that is one of the causes of why they are no longer the majority. So it is real in other cultures. Um, I know everybody deals with it a little differently, but I know white people are addicted to those opiates, and it had an effect on their lifespan.
Mm-hmm.
They're dying out fast.
Yeah, I just think in general, this is about choice, and I think a lot of times I don't really get into the news too much because a lot of times they make a lot of stuff up. I think movies are more realer than the news. You know what I mean? Because they tell you what they want to tell you. It's controlled. So at the end of the day, you have to, just if you can help, just help. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily look at, I do look at it as far as the different cultures and stuff like that. But if it affects one of us as human beings in general, it's just going to affect the whole world. So we have to take it, step by step, and maybe look at if you see an individual need help, like help them versus
Yeah.
talk. I mean, maybe you can some type of prevention program or some type of help that you can get these people. So again, it's all about, again, choice, and at the end of the day, no one actually took that drug and put it to gave it to you, or put it like this, made you take it. You had
Yeah.
partake in that. You know what I mean? So again, it's just about choices that we make. And I think, we can make a change if we just start making the right decisions. And as far as, our people are concerned, we just have to, start, helping each other, making sure
Yeah.
that we get on the right track, and that's the problem. A lot of times in our community, it's not like that. There's a lot of crab in the barrel syndrome. If you ain't a part of this, whatever, you know how it go. So at the end
Yeah,
of
that's
the day,
true.
as far as a human being, if you can help in any way, definitely help. You know what I mean? I try to, you know, it's hard not to, but it's emphasis on certain cultures. So you have to look at certain things a little differently than other people do. So yeah.
And but I think culture, when you talk about us helping each other and really trying to work together. I live in a neighborhood that's predominantly, or city predominantly Mexicans.
Hmm.
And the houses here, they're huge houses.
Hmm.
And if I walk, I'm always walking my dog, and I'm looking at the driveways. Each house has maybe 4 to 5 bedrooms.
Hmm.
So I can see at least 7 cars in each driveway. So I know that family is there helping each other,
Hmm.
especially during the pandemic, especially through economic hard times. There's, maybe 5 people working. So my neighbors across the street, she came over, we were talking, she said, well, we have five 5 bedrooms, plus they took the loft, and created another bedroom. So there's 6 bedrooms, 6 people there working.
Hmm.
So that's how they qualify for the house. That's how they're paying the bills, and that's how they're able to survive. So the cultures are different, and there are, I don't know. I just see, I'm thinking, in terms of culture, we have to work together. We have to be able to put up with each other. We have to, I have a bed, extra room. You can stay there 30 days, 90 days, get on your feet. But you have to help yourself too, Chuck. And I've tried to help people, but sometimes people take your kindness for weakness.
Hmm.
So, but I'm willing to help, and I think I do help people, but you got to help yourself too. You got to want it. I'm sorry, but there was this man on Instagram. I don't know if anybody saw him, but the lady, his tenant had been in his house for 2 years and not paying rent, and he went there and he had a truck. He said, "Okay, y'all, watch this. This lady has done me wrong. She's in my house for 2 years, haven't paid rent. She's leaving. Finally, I get to evict her." So I said, "Oh, this is gonna be drama, right? I'm watching, just waiting for the drama." So he pulls up in his truck. Hey, give her a hug. Okay, I'm gonna help you. Move the rest of your stuff. He drove her to a hotel. He paid for 2 weeks. Then he paid for another week. So he paid for 3 weeks. He put $400 on her Cash App. And he said, now you gotta fight. You gotta fight. He said, this lady has done me wrong, but God has still blessed me. But, and sometimes when things are, when things are going wrong and things are bad, we gotta fight. Somehow we gotta pull it out of us,
Hmm.
to fight. You may have to, swallow your pride and live with a relative, or can I sleep on your couch for 30 days, and you got to have a plan. You're not going to use me.
Hmm.
You got to have a plan how your life is going to get better.
Hmm.
And if you can't fight your way out of it, it ain't going to never change.
Hmm.
So when you said helping, we got to help each other, that man really helped that lady.
Hmm.
And it's like, I was like, man, you're such a blessing. It was like tears in my eyes. And he said, she did me dirty.
Hmm.
But my mom used to say, 2 wrongs don't make a right,
Hmm.
And sometimes when people, isn't that the what do you call it, the way we're supposed to treat each other? Even if you do me wrong, I'm still gonna bless you, because that's the good book or the good word or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, God bless that guy, that did that, because a lot of people, like you said, would have did her dirty, would have, throw clothes, whatever.
Eye for an eye.
Right. But at the end of the day, you treat people as you want to be treated. So even
Yeah,
though somebody do you wrong, you don't have to do them wrong. You just do what you're doing because you'll be blessed 10 times over. So it doesn't
yeah,
even matter. You know what I mean? If that's who you are, and that just shows who he is. That just shows his character and who he is. You know what I mean? So again, shout out to him for doing that because he could have,
yeah,
bad and just kicked her out altogether. Um,
yeah.
but we do got some more comments here. We got one from Sky Darling. She says in Boston, my guy cousins were being detained for $10 bag of weed / crack. But today the new drug, fentanyl,
Hmm.
the addicted women, the addictives are getting services because majority are white people from suburbs and not being locked up. Yeah, that's true.
Hmm.
True, definitely. And that's something they got. How much time did they get? Did they get detained or did they lock them up
Hmm.
per se?
Wow.
Let us know about that.
Yeah.
Share this and what else? She also says that's amazing. She's talking about the what that guy did for her.
Yeah.
Uh, what's going on, Rob? He says top
Brother.
of the day. Feel good talk team. Thanks, man. Thank you too.
Yes.
Definitely appreciate you, brother. But yeah, it's something. It's something, Jamila. Like sometimes I believe in the eye for an eye. Don't get me wrong on certain things, but like
Yeah. Yeah.
you just have to be the bigger person and just walk away and do exactly what you really wanted them to do to you. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
this is what it should be. This is how you should have treated me, and that's it. And go from there. So again,
Yeah.
shout out to that guy.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think too, he is a model of how you should be how we should treat one another,
Right.
and maybe that will change her perspective next time. And what do you call it? Pay it forward.
Right.
Maybe she's able to help somebody else. When she gets on her feet and that everybody is not grimy. You know, and I don't have to stay grimy. Because
Mhm.
this guy helped me. It's like, no, everybody ain't out to get you. Everybody's not out to harm you.
Mhm.
So that may change her perspective of, how to treat people. I want to read something else. It says an African American child is 6 times as likely as a white child to have or had an incarcerated parent. A growing share of African Americans have been arrested for drug crimes, yet African Americans are no more likely than whites to sell or use drugs.
Mhm.
Independent of other social and economic characteristics, children of incarcerated parents are more likely to, one, drop out of school, develop learning disabilities, ADHD, misbehave in school,
Mhm.
suffer migraines, asthma, high cholesterol, depression, anxiety, post traumatic stress syndrome, and homelessness. Each of these conditions present a challenge to students' performance. So, yeah, it's real.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah, and that whole HD what is HD8 AHD or
A
they got so
tip.
many different acronyms for it. But anyway,
Mhm.
it's I don't know that they made a big deal out of that, and they made a lot of money off of those different that they had the Adderall and all kinds of stuff. So at the end of the day, if you look at it, it's all about that money. It's all about
It's all money. Yeah.
as in the medical field. So again, um, you just gotta like I said, some of the snooze. I try to not. I don't know. I guess the statistics, some of the statistics are real, but then you got to be careful of those statistics as well because they tell you exactly what they want you to hear. So at the end of the day, I'm always skeptical about certain things I read. You know what I'm saying? And certain things that I listen to because at the end of the day, who knows what the agenda is behind all that? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you got to be very careful with just listening to that. And like I said, a lot of news is fake. That you see on television, and then you got the movies. A lot of the movies, you look at the movies, you'll find a lot of truth in movies more so
Yeah.
the regular everyday news. So you got to be careful. You got to be careful out there.
Yeah. These are talking points, but I think too, you have to use your common sense
Yeah, that's
and
true.
look at different, different scenarios, different, like you said, who put out this study, who did the research, who paid for it,
Hmm.
and that's the major factor. Who's paying for it is
Hmm.
kind of shrews whatever is going to be said in the final analysis. But it's talking points, and I can see that the drug abuse has affected us,
Hmm.
has affected our children. You take out what's real, you use it, and then what's not real or what's not applicable, you just
Hmm.
keep going. So
Yeah,
yeah.
because I've seen it. Like I said, in families, in my family, the drug that's real. Drug addiction is real. A lot
Mhm.
of times you don't catch it until later on when it's like, overboard. Like there's just too much. You see it going on. It's like now is you could tell, but it takes a while, for you to, I guess, um, determine or not whether your family or friends or whatever are on drugs, because a lot of times it doesn't show up till later
Yeah,
when they're
it's
really
full blown
full,
addiction.
call it, yeah. So again, it's just real out there. I've seen it happen, and it's a sad situation. So
But Chuck, what I'm wondering is, you made a point. How many of the people that are on drugs now started off as ADHD, or they start them off in second, third grade, especially black boys, because they can't sit still, and they give them these drugs.
yeah,
So that's the beginning point of the addiction,
right.
right? Yeah,
Yeah, because a lot of them drugs, are bad for you. Like a lot of those
yeah.
over the counter drugs, well, not over the counter, prescription drugs,
Hmm.
you get addicted to it. And sometimes, like, they'll affect one thing, and then they'll mess up something. They'll help for one, and they affect another. So
Yeah,
you
mess up
always,
your kidneys or
mhm.
something. Yeah, yeah.
You
They,
gotta be careful.
you see the commercials for prescription medicine, and they say, oh, it could cause memory loss. They say it real fast.
Mm-hmm.
All these things that is harmful. The side effects.
Uh-huh.
They say it real fast. It's like, okay, okay, I
Hmm.
ain't taking that.
Yeah, exactly. Because yeah, you're right. It's real fast. Affect this.
Hmm.
You may have to do that. I'm like, man, you might as well don't even take it, because you're gonna have more
Right.
problems once you start taking it than you do without it. So
Yeah, something else gonna go out.
exactly. Hey, we got another quick comment. Scott Darling says, when black children reach 18 years old, the majority in Boston must leave their, I guess, what's that? Their
Foster care.
foster care. Yeah,
Mhm.
home. I said, this is because the services stop the foster parents, in the child. If the child is using drugs in Boston, they get services. Otherwise, they become homeless. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know they could stop. Well, I guess, yeah. I mean, 18 years is an
18.
adult. But that's where it comes down to this too. As far as do you really care for these kids, like when they come in your home? Because if you really care for them kids, you really wouldn't care about if they told them to leave, you could still keep them there. You know
That's
what I mean?
right. Yeah.
If you really care for these kids. So that's why
Mhm.
a lot of these people that do have these foster kids, it's all about the money. Because they get a
Yeah.
significant amount of money for each child that they get. And that's the thing. Like, are they doing it just for the money, or are they doing it because they love children? And eventually, if you have someone in your home, you develop a love for that person, or
A bond. You bond with them.
you would think, like, wow, I don't want to see this person out on the streets. But a lot of times, it's like a pet. When you get a pet, you
Hmm.
develop, like you said, that bond. And then
Yeah.
why would you want to get rid of that child at 18? I mean, because now you're not getting the money in. Is that, what was all, especially if you had that child, for years, it's like,
Yeah.
wow, you get rid
Yeah.
of them. Like, nah, don't work like that.
Yeah.
So,
That's true.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's some good stats you got there, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And she also says, Scott Ross says, yes, you do bond. That is true.
Yeah. You bond with.
So,
Yeah. You bond with these kids. You bond as a teacher, and just if you see anybody every day, you're gonna develop a bond for them, unless you're just you just have a block. It's like, I'm not going to take this personal. I'm
right.
just here to for the money, or whatever it is. I'm not saying all foster parents are like that,
Mhm.
but if you're human and you care for somebody, you always gonna care for them.
Exactly.
If they 18 or 28, you still gonna have that love for
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's so true. But I'm telling you, some people out here are really, really like, stale. Like they don't, you know, it's all about that money at the end of the day. So the more money they can get, hey, it is what it is. I'll take
them.
5 kids. That's their mentality. I'll get
Yeah.
5 kids. I get this X amount of money. Then after that, they get 18. I get some more kids in here, and they
Yeah.
start making money because I mean, it does at the end of the day becomes certain people's profession. You know.
Yeah.
So, but I remember my grandmother. She used to do that, not foster kids, but she used to watch kids in daycare. And when I was coming
Mhm.
in, eventually you start, like you say, developing that bond. And she used to watch a lot of kids. I'm talking about 4 or 5 kids at a time sometimes. And I used to wake up to go to school and stuff. I was like, oh, these kids are getting on my nerves. You hear them downstairs crying. But it was time for me to go to school anyways. It didn't matter. But I was like, man, I just like that peace and quiet in the morning. And
Yeah.
after a while, you get used to that. You get used to seeing these kids. You get to see them grow up and grow up. I remember one time I ran into one of the guys that she was watching. And I mean, I can't remember his age at the time, but he had to be around 20, 25, around that area, between 20 and 25. And I was like, man, I said, I said, is your name, he said, yeah, my name is such and such. I said, man, I remember you was 2 years old. He was a bad little boy, you know what I'm saying? But, he grew up to be, yeah, he was, like you said, he wouldn't sit down, he was in stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he ended up being a great young man though. And, we met on the back. That's the crazy part. We met on the basketball court. We were playing ball together.
Wow. Wow.
Name. I'm looking at him like, man, this dude look familiar.
You still have the same face,
He had
huh?
the same face. Yeah, the same exact face, but he was just big. I was like, wow.
Mhm.
But after the game, I was like, yo, man, your name? And he's like, yeah. I said, yeah. And then we just started talking and stuff. But I couldn't believe it was him though. But you
Yeah.
develop that bond with all the different kids that come through. And until this day, like kids that see me now that used to, my grandmother used to watch and be like, hey, what's up, Chuck? How's Miss Della doing? Blah, blah. I said, she's doing great, and it's like, wow.
Wow.
It's like these
Yeah.
kids are huge now. So it just shows like when you love doing something, how
That's
people
it.
they'll come back and they'll let you know, oh man, I remember your grandma, I remember this, I remember you, this and that.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, like I said, I don't see, if you're human, me personally, I cannot take care of someone or something and not have some type of bond to it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That's just me, but I'm just talking.
That's a good feeling seeing
Yeah.
these kids, that your grandmother helped raise these kids,
Right, right,
and they turned out good. What if she wasn't there? They might have been at home by
right.
themselves in the streets,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very rewarding. I see it makes you happy,
And you know what I meant to tell you? Some of these kids too had like drug addiction and stuff like that. I'm going to get on this comment by Rob because he's definitely right. Because again, he
Mhm.
said sometimes drug addiction can come through your DNA or genetics. Kids
Mhm.
don't even know it exactly. And you ever notice like how certain
Mhm.
things are addictive? Like it might not be okay. Let's just say your parent or had a drug addiction. Your addiction might be gambling, or something like that. It's like something that addictive behavior. And that's
Yeah.
what it all boils down to. But I understand exactly what you're talking to, Rob, because you have the babies that are born on drugs too, that of course, in their maybe they don't know about it, or just in general, they just have that addictive behavior. So that was
Mhm.
an awesome comment there, yo. But yeah, but it's I'm telling you, Jamila, it was something to see how all of those kids had grown up and they became something, or was
Yeah.
came out to be really good, because some of them were really bad. They were on drugs, and you could tell. I remember she had a couple of them that they were really screaming and hollering, and it was bad. Like there's nothing you could do that could shut them up. So you try to give them milk. You try to bounce them around. Help them out,
Mhm.
it just didn't work. So you carry them around, you hold them, and move around, but it just didn't work. So again,
Mhm.
it's deep, man. It was deep. So, but it's
Yeah.
a good feeling when you see them recover and they're productive people out in the world. We also got
Shout
Scott.
out to your grandmother, Chuck.
Yeah, she raised a lot of kids. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
awesome.
indeed. Scott Dawn says, when I work at a youth center, my mentor and I would let some of the homeless children over 18 provide a safe haven and
Mm.
help get services. reaching out to colleagues and friends to ask to use their addresses so they can get services. We had fun, and now I run into these adults, and some finished college, trade school, and did well.
Wow.
Hey, shout out to you, Sky, for doing that.
Yes.
Again, man,
Yeah.
it takes, like I said, it takes a village, and like
Mhm.
you know, you didn't have to do that, you know what I mean, but you went out and did that, you know. Man, that's just the, you know, human in us, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
hey, you know, I mean, it would seem like you would want to help somebody, not want to
Yeah.
destroy, you know. But again, that's what it takes, you know. It takes that extra help, and then shout out to those people that let them use their address too, because
Yeah. Yeah.
people are like, you ain't using my address.
Mhm.
Y'all gonna use my address, so you
Yeah.
know, that was a good thing. And
Or they would say, go get a PO box or something. But there's so many barriers that, you know, when you're displaced and,
mhm.
you know, just an address is,
Right.
you know, means a lot.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
just having an address.
mhm.
You can't get any services if you don't have an address. You can't get where your mail coming to.
Right.
So yeah, that's, you know,
I
little
used
things
to
we don't even think
use my
about.
address, but I can't say why because I would get in trouble for it. But it was good. It was good. It was good. But if was caught, they would came down on me. But you know, it all worked out because their son and they're great now. They're in college and doing their thing. So you know, shout out to them. I'm not gonna say no names, but again,
Yeah.
it's all about helping, man. That's what it's about. And we got my man Rob on here. He says, Chuck, you remind me of your Uncle Dave. He was a great guy and a great communicator. He could talk about just about anything. Hey,
Yeah.
thanks, Rob. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's my favorite. That's my uncle, man. That's my favorite uncle, man. He you're right. He could talk about anything, and we we had a ball, man, when he was around. So again, thanks for that. I appreciate that, man. So yeah, but yeah, Jamila, great topic. Great topic.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I'm
think
still trying
too.
to wake up everybody. I had a long party last night, so again, excuse me for my thought process. It's coming back right now as we speak. So, you know, but it
Yeah.
was a long night. I had, you know, I was DJing in the event last night, so a little tired, a little tired. Got in late last night.
You know what? We wouldn't even known it.
Well,
You know, it's all good.
brother.
It's all good. But I think too, it's, you know, what's making me feel my heart is listening to the good that people have, you know, just the little things,
Mhm.
you know, that we may take for granted. You know, your grandmother just helping those kids and helping the, you know, those babies. Nobody didn't want to listen to no babies crying like that. You know,
No.
these crack babies, they probably throw them in the room, close the door. You
Mhm.
know, but those little things that we do mean a lot. Like, you know, your grandmother, Sky, letting people, you know, use you know, giving them addresses. You know, I've used addresses to get my kids in a better school. You know, I've done it.
No.
You know, like you said, they went to college, but that makes a big difference.
It
You
does.
know,
And
it
like I
makes a big
said, yeah,
difference.
I've done that too to help people get through, you know,
Yeah.
school stuff. You know, and it's a great feeling, you know, knowing that you're helping them and they're able to get a better.
Mhm.
And it's sad because honestly, the education should be everything around the board. It should be the same. Like it should be
It
ranked.
does,
It
yeah.
shouldn't
Yeah.
be because your taxes is not so high here. You're not
Right.
getting quality education. That
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I mean? It's sad, but I mean, it
It's
is.
real.
Yep. So,
It's real.
yep.
And we're not, and what's filling my heart is now, okay, this is a problem, but now we're getting little solutions, you know? You
Yeah.
know, it's important. It's making a difference.
Mm-hmm. And you know, shout out to all those people that are out there making a difference because again, without y'all, you know, the little progress that we do have, we wouldn't have it right now. So again,
Yeah.
thanks for that. And hey, listen, before we go any further, I'm gonna go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsor, which is the A Game. So I'm gonna go ahead and play that commercial, and then we'll come right on back and we'll continue our conversation.
Okay.
And again, this is the A Game. And as the A game, great for vitality, energy, strength, and libido. So if you want your free sample, give me a call at 302-723-2836. Again, 302-723-2836 to get your free sample of the A game. So I got maybe 3 left. So let me stop.
Ooh, 3. Ooh. Chuck, speaking of making a difference, in my research,
Okay.
it says here President Obama responded to the excessive federal prison sentence with a step-up rate of um, releasing people out of prisons. Since the beginning of his administration, he granted over 1,000 sentences, more than his 11 predecessors combined, mostly for nonviolent, victimless drug crimes. So President Obama, he made a difference too.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't think like something petty is, selling weed or something like that. That should definitely, they should definitely overturn that. Especially now that it's legal.
Mhm.
Return it right away. It's really no need to be there. And again, I don't condone any type of drug selling or nothing like that. I'm not not condoning it, but at the end of the day, you got so many more serious crimes out there. You need the room for those to get them in there. You know what I mean? Because
Exactly.
instead of building
Exactly.
more prisons, I mean, you can open some of that space up by bringing those guys home that have those little petty charges that you're getting life sentences for. That's ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
got somebody that's around here killing, got 5 or 6 murders, and they're in jail for maybe 20. I'm just giving an example. I don't
Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
they're getting less charges than somebody for drugs. That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
again, I don't know. That's just me. Like I said, get them out of there. You know, make them productive citizens and help them out. That's another thing. You got to get these guys in reform, get them right, like get them out there
Mhm.
help that they need, because that's trauma in general. Just going to jail, going to prison.
Yeah, it is.
You know what
Yeah,
I
it
mean?
is.
So, you need that help mentally, and then hopefully, get them back on the right foot, because there's a lot of great guys that just had some just made some bad decisions. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So,
Yeah. Wrong place at the wrong time.
wrong place at the wrong time. You're right.
Mhm.
You know.
But what warms my heart too, Chuck, is when I see, it's sad, but on social media, you see people being released from prison after being there 20, 25 years for something they didn't do, because of DNA or whatever happened. They're released, but that's 25 years of their life gone. And
Yeah.
most of them get a couple of million, 5 million. But does that really, you can't buy your time. Once that time is gone, it's gone. The money is not bad, but it's like you said, so many innocent people are sitting in jail that have been set up, and you know um, evidence has been tampered with. So it's a sad situation, but when they get out, it's a happy occasion too.
Yeah. And coming out too, you, like I said, just readjusting, that's a big thing, because I knew a lot of brothers that got out, and just having that mentality now, just it's different, like, you're used to somebody telling you when to get up, when to do this, you start at this time, you're doing this. And I've never been to jail, but I've heard the stories, and I've heard the stories of people that got out, and they tell you this. And their mind is institutionalized, when they get out,
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
it's a bad situation, and just that help. I hope, like I said, they need to ramp up, the help when they get out, so they can be better.
Yeah. But
You know,
look how the world has changed in 25 years. It's a whole new world out there.
yeah, mhm.
Everything is different. Everything is new. So
Yeah, that's true. And we got Sky Darling. She says these gatekeepers from our communities knew or not, but we didn't care. These so-called community leaders were being scary and selfish. Power to the people 24/7.
amen.
Thanks for the comment. Appreciate it. But again, it's our choice, man. We have to make a choice as a people, people in general. We have to make those right choices. Human race in general. I mean, it doesn't
Mhm.
matter. You make the right decision so that everybody, can live the way they're supposed to live, and also, to help each other out. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
what it all boils down to. You know what I mean? It's not. At the end of the day, if you think about it, we all breathe the same air. We all need water to survive. We need food, to survive. So we just got to figure it out. Whether you're black, white, whatever, Puerto
yeah,
Rican,
you're
it
right.
doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we're all human, and what affects one human, it affects everybody else. Believe it or not, it might not seem like that right now, but at the end of the day, when it all comes down to it, it affects us as a human race in general. So.
Yeah, we're on this planet together, and we have to share the resources of this planet.
Hmm.
And it's a lot better if we can help each other in progress and in love,
Definitely.
and in love. So
Because some of the resources that we need, we have to go outside of our comfort zone. We have to go outside of what we're used to, to get
mhm,
those resources, because the resources aren't there. If they were there, we wouldn't have to go out and get them. So you have to be willing to go out, and sacrifice, do what you need to do to bring that back to help. But at the time when you bring that help, we have to also receive it. The people that's here, instead of, oh man, I don't need to, whatever, So some people want to receive it, some people are not, and those are people you just leave behind and you just keep it moving, because at
yeah,
day, you're your own people, they're your worst enemies too sometimes, so you got to be careful of that as well, you know. So, but
yeah,
again, that drug thing and all that, like I said, was a choice in the beginning, but now we know, so we just got to make better decisions. That's all.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I think too. We were talking before the show about the little girl. Well, she was going to the Olympics, and she smoked weed, and her drug test came up dirty. And she reminded me of my daughter.
Hmm.
My daughter, she's track, field, baseball, basketball. I
Mm.
mean, high jump, and you get into the world, and anybody can make the wrong decision at the
Right.
wrong time, but we got to do better.
Hmm.
I remember her when she went to the finals. She ran up in the stadium. She hugged her grandmother. It was like a tear moment. Her mom. I think her mom had died. Her grandmother raised her. It's like, oh wow, she's on her way.
Hmm.
She go to the Olympics, get a couple of endorsements. Nike or whatever, because she was bad,
Hmm.
and then turn around. Oh, she got disqualified because her test came up dirty. I mean, I I don't like weed. My sister smoked weed her whole life. She got asthma, and she ended up she kept smoking it. She kept smoking it. She ended up in a vegetative state because she had an asthma attack smoking weed, and the oxygen can go to her brain. So I'm just, I hate, a lot of my family have been affected by drugs, and ultimately it seemed like they can't make it to 50.
Hmm.
50, 55, 60, you're gone. Half my family is gone, you know. So
Yeah.
I don't advocate that. Of course I don't advocate it, but I just think, weed is, it's okay, but it leads to other things, I believe. And, like my sister got asthma, and she wouldn't stop. She didn't stop. And it ended her life, maybe 50, 55. It's sad. It's sad.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, you talk about weed. Other people have been caught, with weed, and they still got away with what she got away. I mean, what she did
Mhm.
with. But at the end of the day, we still have to make these decisions. Like at the end, it's like this. okay, you know that you have to have a clean urine, or you have to, like me, I have to be tested. We get tested on a daily basis. So I know I
Mhm.
can't smoke weed, and I just take that responsibility
Right,
as an
right.
individual and say, look, I have to, act accordingly. I'm not, I'm doing something a little bit different than what other people are doing. At that point, I
Mhm.
understand a lot of people were upset because they got her because they said other people were this, and that. But at the end of the day, you have to be responsible for
For
your actions.
you, for you.
So you know that they're going to test, and you know it's a possibility that you may be able to lose your spot because of that. Why do it? Now I understand
Mhm.
you might be going through pressure, you might have lost it, but it's other means to comfort yourself other than just picking up a joint or whatever
Yeah,
drug of your choice. And if you're addicted, you're addicted. You might have to get help for that. Because some
yeah,
people can help it. And that's
yeah,
I'm not making an excuse, but some people just can't. They have to have it. And they have to get seek help. So it's just it's just a shame because she's such a talent that you're going to throw these little loopholes in as far as yourself. You made this decision to take that, and you know that it's not good for you, and ultimately it destroys your lungs. I mean, because of the smoke.
yeah, yeah.
So you have to take responsibility for that. And I don't think that I think it was messed up. Yeah, I mean, it could have let come on, but at the end of the day, you got to follow rules and regulations. It's just
Yeah,
like
you got
your
to.
taxes on time. Guess what? They'll take your house or
Yep.
whatever
Yeah,
you got to pay
yeah,
for. So you have to be a responsible. And this is like we have to be held accountable for this, no matter how bad it seems, or they just targeting us. Or it
yeah.
doesn't matter if you
It
know
doesn't matter.
that should make you more aware.
You know they're coming for you, so you got
Yeah,
to be
so
ready.
you have to be ready. You have to make yourself more, you have to take responsibility for yourself. Well,
Right.
they doing it, so that don't mean you have to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Just
Exactly.
'cause they smoking weed now. I see a lot. That's all I smell now is weed smoke. Everybody smoking weed all the time. I'll ride down the street
Hmm.
and smell.
Yeah.
But that means I have to do it? No, I don't have to
No,
smoke weed
no.
because I don't want to smoke weed.
Yeah.
That's my choice, and that's your choice. If
And
you, I'm not knocking nobody who do whatever they want to do, but
exactly.
we have to be held accountable for our actions.
At the end of the day. And that's the
Anything,
same thing you can say for alcohol.
yeah, alcohol, yeah.
People, you can get drunk or you can have one beer or one glass of wine. But if you know your job is, you can't do it, unless you'll be suspended or you'll lose your job. You can't do it. You
Just
can't
can't.
have that one glass of wine. You can't have that beer.
Hmm.
you know, have some water, have a ginger ale, have a 7 Up, if you're at a bar. So we have to make good choices.
Hmm.
We have to think. We have to think. We have to think not for the moment, oh, I want to feel good or, I'm feeling bad, I want to get high. Think the long-term effects of what you're doing, you
Hmm.
know.
Hmm.
And she had, I felt so happy for her when she won. It's like, oh man, she can help her grandmother, and really, her life will be so different.
Hmm.
But that one joint, that one hit, changed everything.
Hmm.
You know,
You got to also remember too, Jamila. The people around you. You got to surround yourself with like-minded people. And if you have
Mhm.
people that don't know, if you still stay with the same friends that aren't, they should have helped. They should have been like, listen, don't do that.
No,
They
yeah.
should have been more, hey, why are you doing that? You can ready to go to that
Hmm.
bitch, you can ready to do this. You got a whole future ahead of you. Don't
That's
do this. You
right.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
So you gotta watch those people you're around too, because a lot of
that's
them are
right.
jealous, and undercover jealous, and they won't let you know
That's
what's
right.
going on. And they have and they like, oh, I hope she and if you knew she's doing that, why would you have her smoke that? Like, tell her,
Right.
listen, girl, you gonna do this. It's less like a child, like you have a son or daughter, whatever, your child. You tell them, look,
Hmm.
this ABC. Help.
Yeah.
Even if my friend step out, I'm like, yo, man, you need to stop doing that. And that's not true.
Right.
If a real
Yeah.
friend tells you something and it's not true, you tell them that. Nah, you're
Yeah.
wrong. You should have did this. And
Hmm.
my friends hate when I tell them that because they'll say, yo, man, this is what happened, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, nah, but you were wrong. You understand what I'm saying? So you should have did that, and but that's a true friend. A true friend's not
Yeah. Yeah.
co-sign because you're a true, we're friends. If you're a real friend, you'll tell this person, listen, you shouldn't do this, man, because this is
Yeah.
going to hurt you in the long run. But like I said,
Right.
you have people under his
Jealous
jealous
risk.
agenda
Mhm.
that they like, I hope he or she gets caught, smoking weed.
Right.
and they knew it. Come on, you
Yeah,
got
they
people
do.
around, you know what's up. So sometimes you got to change your circle.
You
Change your
do.
circle.
You do. And-
People, like-minded people around you, people that are for you, people that just because they're either been your friend all your life, that don't mean anything. If that's your friend, they would tell you that. So again, that's just my advice. Some of these young people out here don't,
Mhm.
and people in general, you gotta be held accountable for what you do. So stop blaming everybody, stop blaming the meat, stop blaming whatever. Just hold yourself accountable. Then you don't have to worry about it at the end
Yeah.
of the day. So I'm not going to co-sign because, they're getting on her about we or she's black. I'm not going to co-sign with it because I felt
Mhm.
you shouldn't have been smoking that weed.
And I think, Chuck, too, sometimes you got to get around people with the mentality, if I make it, you make it. We all make it.
That's right. Mhm.
We all make it. She gonna bring you up or help you, or if she had money, we all make it.
That's
But
right.
one thing I told my son, um, there was a picture. This was a couple of years ago. There was a picture, and one of his friends was rolling a joint.
Mm.
I'm like, what? And I said, this is what I told him. I said, now, I'm just gonna make up a name. I'm gonna say Billy Bob can can do that. He can, you know, um, ride in a car with weed, smoke weed, or whatever, because he's white. But at the end of the day, your black BBB is going. They're gonna put you in jail. So you can't put yourself in that environment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they can do it and get away with it, but you cannot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I taught my son. You got to stay away from that and the people that do it. Because they can do it and get away with it. They get away with a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
they will throw your black butt underneath the jail for
And
little or nothing. You
yeah,
know,
at the end
so
of the
that's what
day,
I taught my kids.
it's who you know too, because some people know people. So of course, if you know a judge, or somebody of importance, they're going to let
Yeah,
you know anyway. You know what I mean? If your
yeah,
father's a judge, or your mom's a cop or whatever,
yeah.
and I mean, it's good to know friends like that. I'm gonna be honest with you, whether
It
you black.
really is. It's who you
So
know.
right.
If your parents have money, your parents got a grocery store, and there are, they can buy an attorney or pay for an attorney. They can buy your freedom,
Mm-hmm.
but we got to watch who we associate with, what they do and how they do it, and we got to make good choices,
That's
at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, it's up to you to make that final decision, that final choice on what you need to do. You already know, strikes that you have against you. So why give
Mhm.
anybody any type of ammunition? You just
Yeah,
roll punches and keep it moving. You know what I mean?
right.
Because a lot of things that are against us, some of the stuff we can change, but they're just not doing it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
At the end of the
Right.
day, have insurance on your car. You know what I mean? Drive
Yeah,
around with
gotcha.
proper tags. Stop, tinting your windows so dark where they can't see you. Stop blasting your music as you go down the street. There's a lot of things you can do to not always be targeted. A lot of times we
Hmm.
pay attention to ourselves. All
Yeah,
right,
keep a low profile.
keep a low profile.
Keep a low profile.
You know? And
Do
then
what
when
you
you go
got to
out,
do.
your car smell like weed. Like, I mean, come on. It's like
Yeah,
you're giving yourself up. So you
yeah.
know what you need to do. It's just like anything. CDL drivers, they know that they're held at a higher standard as far as driving. If we get caught, we get double the fines. So
Wow.
at the end of the day, you just do what you're supposed to do, and you don't have to worry about that.
Right, right.
So it's all about choice, Jamila. All about choice. And
The
here at
choice.
Jamila J's Girl Talk, how you
Choice.
say it, Joy? What is it? How you say it, Jamila? I'm messing it up.
You're doing good, Chuck. You're doing great. You're doing great.
We
So this has been we're almost at an hour. Are there any more questions?
we're
I
over an
mean,
hour, but yeah,
sometimes you know what? The best conversations is when there's,
mhm.
talking from the heart,
That's right. We're
So
no professionals here, so don't nobody, just letting everybody know we're just speaking our own opinion. This is all
that's it.
this is our
That's
opinion.
it.
And Scott Don says, make good choices and you will feel good. Trust. Yes, you will.
Yes.
She always have a
Yes.
cliche every week. So I'm trying to
Yeah.
write them all down so I can have them, But
Mhm.
yeah, again, great conversation. And like I said, at the end of the day, we just gotta make the right decisions out there.
Yeah.
Whether it's drugs, whether it's money, whatever decision you make sure it's the right decision and the best decision for you. Okay.
And think,
That's right.
think before you act, and weigh the pros and cons. Don't rush into any decision. Just really, just try to think with an open mind and a clear mind, and you'll make the right decision. But just don't just jump into things without contemplating the consequences of your
Exactly.
actions.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We got one more. My man Rob, he says, in order to stay blessed, you must share your blessings. They come back and tenfold, give them away. That's true, Rob. And and like I said, I
Mhm.
do it anyway just because, just in me. You know what I mean? And I've always been blessed all my life because of that. So that is definitely true. So the more you give, the more you get back. So that you can give again. That's basically what it all boils down to. So helping everybody and well, helping people that need the help. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
Mhm. So, hey, great show, Jamila. Thanks. Hey,
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I always enjoy talking with you,
yeah,
with guests, without guests.
yeah,
It's real.
we
It's
have we
real.
have a really good time here. Sky Darling, as always, she says, "I love this show." Thank you, Sky. We
Thank you,
appreciate
Sky.
you.
We love you.
Yeah,
Love your support. We love everybody who watch us and give us comments and good feedback. And we just want to, really make people feel good and just, you know, give, give,
hmm
give to the community. Give, my mottos. I want them to achieve their dreams and give them the exposure. And we've been blessed through your show to do that too, Chuck. And I appreciate
Thank
that.
you. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. Without y'all, would be no, like I said, everybody here. If it wasn't for y'all, would be no feel good talk. So definitely,
Yeah.
y'all. Yep.
We're
So
here and there is a feel good talk, and we got the doctor feel good.
I ain't look.
A
I ain't
little tired, but
Yeah, I'm a
we're
little tired.
here.
I'm trying to wake up. You know what I
It's all
mean? I still
right.
have my coffee. Everything. What time is it? Man, it's like 4 something in the afternoon. I'm talking call. I got up late. As I don't know what today. You hear me? I
Yeah.
was tired. I went to bed around about 4 o'clock this morning. So,
Wow. Wow. You
so
want to tell everybody about the other shows before we leave?
no, because actually I'm in the process of some changes have been coming up. So we got new
Okay.
stuff, new
Okay.
stuff added, and some stuff that times have been changed. So I got to make sure I got all
Okay.
that together. So, hey,
Okay. You still got me on Sundays
yeah, you still on Sunday?
at 3 o'clock. Okay.
Scott Dolan, she says she wants
12,
to
12
move.
noon. Wait a minute. 12 noon
Oh,
Pacific Standard Time.
yeah, but
You
it's
got
very,
me.
yeah,
Okay.
you still on here. And
Okay.
Scott does Dr. Feelgood. I haven't adopted. I mean, I've adopted the name, but I haven't really been talking about it. But I appreciate it.
well,
Kind of
well,
funny.
we're gonna jump off if there's not any other comments.
hmm
And we thank you for watching, spending a little time with us today. And we are always here to enlighten, educate, and entertain. And I hope we've done that today, Chuck and I. And we appreciate you. And we'll see you back, Chuck. I'm coming back, right? I'm coming back
Yeah, come
next
on.
Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday at
12 o'clock Pacific
hey,
Standard Time and 3 o'clock on the East Coast. I'll be here. Don't change my schedule.
No, I'm not changing your schedule. You good.
Okay. All right. So we will see you next week. And hopefully, the guest can come back after she get her technical difficulties. I know she had a hard time getting online wherever she was. So hopefully she'll come back, or if not, we'll have another amazing show with another amazing guest. And as always, you ready, Chuck?
Yes.
Remember to do this.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, 1, 2, 3. Peace.
Peace.
Hey, Scott Dolan says peace too. So I gotta throw that out there.
Peace.
So again,
Always
we'll
peace.
see y'all next week right here, Jamila J's Girl Talk, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard